Welcome to Hardcourt Honeys, where we take our full court NBA hottest takes, and we got featuring Jade and Penny with your moderator TJ, who will just try to keep control with these two while we go with our takes. Court Honeys listeners, we got another episode coming at this week. You got Penny, Jade, and you got me, TJ. This week, going a little artsy side with us, we're going to talk about basketball movies. Penny, Jade, what are your guys' takes with some basketball movies? You guys watched a lot in your day?
Yep.
I think I realized when I was thinking about this episode that there aren't as many basketball movies as I thought there were. There are tons of football movies.
Yep.
And there's a few hockey movies too, but like when I started looking, like I went on Netflix and I just put in basketball to see what would come up. And like there's not as many basketball movies as I thought there actually were.
So you gotta I checked out all the major streaming sites. Amazon Prime. That's the one that has all of them.
Oh yeah.
Because it even has also fair game for movies, all the Disney movies that were a part of it, that were like original movies that you saw on TV.
Amazon still has the Disney movies even after Disney Plus.
Some of them are still there just because they have like
their
the
contracts
ones teamed with the twin sisters.
Gotcha.
Full Court Miracle. But yeah, so they still have those ones for a little bit. But no, if you get Disney Plus, then you get like Luck of the Irish, High School Musical.
Yep.
Okay. I don't even count High School Musical as a basketball movie.
It was mentioned 8th grade basketball practice. It was one of our last practices. It was right when that movie started. We did the entire get your head in the game in practice. Our coach was so disappointed in us. So disappointed. Shout out to Coach Smolarek for putting up with that.
Tell me there's video of this.
This was before even smartphones. Like this was still like I had a flip phone when this happened.
I had a flip
phone,
Taylor.
so that's how long ago that was. We'll just start off. Jade, top 5 favorite basketball movies, and that includes documentaries or fictional stories.
Okay, so I think I have 4.
4, perfect.
Number 4, which I just watched, was the Giants of Africa documentary, which is Messiah Ujiri's. Of course, Messiah Ujiri's basketball camps is Giants of Africa. So I watched that the other day. I had actually forgotten about it, that it was on Netflix until we prepared to do this, and I was like, oh yeah, I haven't watched it yet. Like, duh. So I watched that. The Pistons 30 for 30 comes in at number 4. Space Jam is our 3 for 30 for 30. Space Jam's number 2 and Coach Carter's number 1.
Coach Carter's number 1. Penny, what do you got for your favorites?
Number 1, Love and Basketball. Number 2, Coach Carter. Number 3, Glory. What's it called? Glory to Road? Something.
Glory Road.
Glory Road. There you go. That's it. I only have 3.
You only got 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll throw I love me some Semi-Pro. I love that storyline. Space Jam. There is a documentary about Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. And then there's also a documentary about the Dream Team that I love. So those are my few. But
I gotta watch those.
Yes, those ones are quite good. I bawled my eyes out in the Larry Bird Magic Johnson one because I'm an adult and I can cry whenever I want to.
Damn straight.
I can cry whenever I want to. But okay, so we got those movies. So with those movies picked, like how important were those films for you when it came just to your love for basketball, Penny?
Oh, they were very important. Just Coach Carter, that made it, didn't make it seem fun to practice basketball, but the way he coaches, that it's reality, the way you play basketball during my days, which was the 90s, early 90s.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But that was reality right there, Coach Carter.
I liked in Coach Carter how he turned all the different plays into stories about women. Yeah. Because what better way is there to engage teenage boys?
That was a very clever idea.
Right? That was one of my favorite things about that movie.
Yeah.
It was like it was that movie's montage moment, which was we're gonna work on all these plays that are named after women. It kind of reminded me of the song Mambo Number 5, just a little bit of this, a little bit of her, and
My
all that, and then
God.
we're gonna make the plays off of that stuff. Because that with the for me at least the basketball movies, at least like for Coach Carter, that came out right when I was like 14 and stuff. So it showed me like, oh, you got to put real heart if you want to win the game and everything. So it added an intensity for me that slowly dwindled after a couple knee injuries and a couple concussions. So, but still,
What year?
nonetheless.
What year was that? What year was that? When did it come out?
Let me check.
Was it early 2000s?
Yeah, I think it was. It was 2005.
I was thinking 6, yeah. Okay, but wait a second, back up. Knee injuries in basketball, fine, but a couple concussions, what's that all about?
I got hit in the head with some elbows a couple times. I took a hard
What kind of
fall.
basketball were you playing?
I took a hard fall one time. I was going up on a fast break, and a guy took out my legs.
Oh my
and
God.
Slammed my head on the ground.
Sounds
That
normal.
kid got ejected because it wasn't even. He wasn't going for the ball. He
Oh,
wasn't.
man.
So, but
Hey.
those are my things: concussions and knee injuries.
Hey, kids were tough back in the days. They didn't care.
I never had.
I got elbows so many times in middle school.
Jade, you would be proud of I always hate on the bad boys, but at the same time, like, I was a Bill Lambier. I totally was. I got ejected. I'd have a smug grin when someone would get mad at me. Like,
I never got. I had more sprained fingers and ankles than I can remember from basketball.
That's just
I never got concussed, but jammed up fingers and rolled ankles, so many.
That's your entry into basketball. If you don't jam a finger,
oh, for
then
sure,
you're not a real basketball player.
For
No,
sure.
I never got injured. No jam fingers, nothing.
You never got injured? Penny, what kind of basketball were you playing?
You're supposed to like 90s ball too.
Yeah, exactly.
I played in middle school. I played in middle school and freshman year of high school. Organized. I made the team, so. But I was a point guard. I don't think point guards got that much.
I was down low. I was post. And
that's why I am.
Yeah, it was before pre three-point shooting big man. So I was always in the paint. Yeah. That was me.
I was always in the paint defensively. I took charges. Like, I played in a men's rec league for like 5 years in my 20s. I was the only woman in that league. Mm-hmm. And guys always thought I was going to get out of the way and not take the charge. They're like, why? Why would I move? Yep. Why would you assume I'm going to move? And then I was a 3-point shooter, so I was never in the paint offensively. Exactly. But I was always down there defensively.
See, that's where game has totally changed for me now. You get me that mid range, I'm set. If you give me the layup, I'm gonna miss it. So I'll be like, I'm too close. You should give me this shot. I'm too close.
That's funny. It actually took me longer to learn layups than it did shooting. I always went too hard on layups.
See, I could shoot like
no problem.
I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
Layups are super easy. Shooting, I'm a mid-range shooter. So that's about it.
Mid-range. That's perfect. I'd be able, like, back in the day, in the post. Now it's jump shots, and because I never knew how to shoot, so I had to teach myself how to shoot and stuff. The textbook form, everything. And by that time, it's like, you're not even playing seriously anymore. You're just playing pickup games at Lifetime. And it's like, yeah.
I know how to shoot. I just don't have the range.
You don't have the range?
I never practiced going all the way to the 3-point line.
Yeah, my buddies, they practice 3-point shots from deep. And I'm like, give me the ball down low. Give me the ball mid-range. Let me get my free throw. I'm the 17-foot assassin. 17-foot assassin. I'm not David West. Like, you give me that 15, 17-footer mistake. That's the wrong mistake.
Oh my gosh.
I like that.
So, I gotta ask, which do you prefer? A documentary of basketball or like a fictional movie, Jade?
I really like both. Probably just because the word basketball is involved. Like, I really don't need more information than that.
Oh, you're
Exactly.
killing me. You're not
Exactly.
setting up the argument, the debate. Oh, I like them both.
I like them both too. I like both sides.
Sorry,
All the
Taylor. I'm
stories.
not going to lie to make your point for you.
Gosh, I know. See,
I
if
like.
anything, I'd go documentary. I love figuring out the behind the scenes things with all the players and teams and stuff.
See, I like the movies because you get things out of the movie, out of the way that movies are written. Like in Coach Carter, for instance, the whole thing with what is your greatest fear through that movie, I loved that. I had never heard that quote before that movie, so I looked it up and I read the whole thing, and that has become like a thing that I refer to in my life that I use.
Yep.
You
I
don't get
love
that as
quote.
much from documentaries, I don't think.
Plus,
But I
it was
still
a
like documentaries.
yeah. Plus, it was a true story.
Yeah, it was based on a true story, so technically
So
it's like a biopic.
yeah,
True, true.
So
most of the
yeah,
Most
sports
sports
movies are
movies
real.
seem to be, yeah.
Yeah, true stories. Yeah.
Coach Carter was the sports version of Dead Poets Society for all the writing nerds. For basketball nerds, it was Coach
Yeah.
Carter that like, yeah, the coach
Yeah.
is with us. He knows what to do. Dead Poet Society was where all the artsy nerds were like, oh yeah, this man gets it. My captain, oh captain.
Oh god.
But just I've also seen actually probably more documentaries too than I actually have of the fictional basketball
I
one.
think there just are more documentaries available.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a very true thing with it.
I just saw the D Wade one. That was a good one.
I have that on my TiVo. I haven't watched it yet,
Wayne
but
Wade
I
has one?
taped it.
The D Wade
A
doc
Life Unexpected, I think it's
Yeah.
called.
Yeah.
Huh?
I taped it when it was on a few weeks back, and I haven't actually watched it yet.
What
Yeah,
was it on?
His life.
his life, just his life from
No, I
from
mean,
a young boy.
like what
Oh,
platform?
Oh, ESPN.
ESPN.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I taped it off the TV.
Oh, okay. Well, speaking of players having their little, Michael Jordan's documentary is also about to come out, so perfect timing with that one.
I heard they pushed it up because there's no basketball.
Yeah. Was it supposed to come out this time, or was it supposed to come a little bit later?
I think it was supposed to come out later.
I think was it this summer?
I never knew an exact date when it was supposed to be. I just heard that they were releasing it early.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, because I saw a couple days worth of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 8 episodes, so
I don't
something
even
like
know.
that. But if you guys had to make your own basketball movie, what kind of style would you want? Would you want it to be a documentary? Would you like it to be like some hard-hitting drama, some family, lighthearted comedy film, something like that? Like, Jade, what would you want your basketball movie to be about?
So this is an interesting question for me
Mhm.
because I have an entire outline written for a basketball kind of based novel that I see more as being like a Netflix miniseries type of deal. And it's based kind of in a company like what Belly Up is. And the character is based kind of sort of on me. But then it's also going to deal with social issues like sexual harassment and gun violence and all that kind of stuff. There's going to be a love story in it. There's a mystery in it. So I guess
there could be a murder mystery involved now too with it too.
There 100% is, yes.
Sherlock with a J. Sherlock Holmes with a jump shot.
So I'm working on it slowly. I've had a few people read it and they like it, so it'll get finished one day.
One day when
But so yeah, mine covers. There are fun moments, but it's a fairly serious, I guess, overall story, and the love story lightens it up a little bit.
Serious story with some lighthearted moments.
Yeah.
Got it. Penny, what about you? What would your format be?
Mine won't be that dramatic. It will be more family and comedy because I'm always laughing. I love family movies. I love comedy, romantic movies. So it will be more in that range.
So
Make it fun.
We got ourselves a Academy Award winning movie, and then one movie that would be a Kids' Choice
Comedy.
Awards movie.
Yep.
But we have those kind of movies. Like we got some lighthearted stuff, and then we're gonna got that dark stuff. Um, uh, speaking of like the documentary stuff, when it comes to like a documentary, like what player, what team, what era of basketball, whatever, what do you think needs to have a documentary, Penny?
Most definitely the 90s NBA. I'll say any team, any player, because they were so interesting to watch.
Even just even if you just took the 90s and did an overview of what basketball was in the 90s, that would be amazing.
Any team, the Knicks, the Pacers, the Heat, the Bulls, the Pistons, any single team, it could have a doc series.
You just gonna mention the entire Eastern Conference?
Yep.
Be like, well, then it could be. Well, then Jade would try and be like, well, it could be Toronto.
Lakers, it could be any team.
There's no reason to have Toronto included in a 90s documentary. I'm totally okay saying that.
Hey, it would be
Vince Carter
franchise.
That's true. Vince Carter did a lot for basketball.
There is a Vince Carter documentary of his Toronto days.
I've seen that. Yeah, it's awesome.
I think I saw it.
I like that one. I like that one a lot. So, well, there's a player that. Jade, what would you want to be documented?
Okay, so this is going to seem super obvious, but I can back it up. I think they need to do a documentary on the Raptors from the time Masai Ujiri was hired. Because...
Defend your point. Because I'm already ignoring.
First of all, that changed everything for the franchise. That was a complete turning point for the franchise. But also, if you are not a Toronto fan and you don't follow the Raptors, you don't understand all the stuff that happens. And I deal with this with people on Twitter all the time that they think they know based on the little bit of national coverage the Raptors get in the States. They don't know. They don't get it. They don't understand that every single one of those players has this crazy story. They don't understand that the Raptors recruit for character just as much as talent or more. And I think there are a lot of things within what Masai Ujiri has done. And the Raptors are a team that won a championship that are like almost no other team that's ever won a championship in terms of the way that they were built.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so that's why.
Do you think maybe just Masai in general should have his own documentary? Because every team he's ever touched has turned out successful. And then, because when he was with Denver, they were getting the Western Conference Finals. Then, didn't he go to Brooklyn, I think, after that? Because I know he was a couple
I don't think he would have said fuck Brooklyn before the Raptors played them if he had worked there.
I just know he's worked a couple different spots in every...
He did scouting for, I want to say, Orlando.
Was that early
2000s? Before Denver. I can't remember where he was after Denver, or if he came straight to Toronto from Denver.
Well, how long has he been in Toronto for?
I want to say 8 years.
8 years in Toronto already? Okay.
It took him 8 years. That's not bad.
Right?
Yeah.
From a team that wasn't making the playoffs at all?
Right. Oh, that's pretty good.
You know, a real challenge for him, if he can bring the Timberwolves to the second round.
Oh, yeah.
That's honestly, a real story right there.
I 100%
Don't give him a title. That's too much to ask for. Give him a second round appearance. Yeah.
Masai Ujiri could get the Timberwolves a championship. Right? Because the Timberwolves have a lot of the same issues being a small market team that Toronto did, where big names don't want to sign there, big names that get traded there don't necessarily stay. And he still managed to build a team that could win a championship in spite of all of those things that Toronto as a location is seen to have going against it. And now he's homegrown superstars who have loyalty to the franchise. Like Pascal Siakam was the 27th pick in the same draft class as Ben Simmons. Who else do you remember was in that draft class besides him and Ben Simmons?
Man, I don't even want
nobody else.
Nobody else. And he was picked. He almost wasn't even picked in the first round. He's the only one with the ring.
That's a valid point with it. We'll see. One thing the Timberwolves are doing, are taking out of Toronto's book, is since we're not getting a lot of people coming to us, we dive into our G League team
Yeah.
so much. And
G
they
League
are
is brilliant.
killing it.
It's a
Ryan
brilliant
Saunders-
model.
Ryan Saunders, head coach, it's still up to debate. But before he was an assistant coach and a head coach, he was head of player development with John Wall and Bradley Beal. He was also in when his dad was in Detroit. He was also player development. Granted, that's with an older team, so didn't have to work as hard with it. But that's his forte, is development. And so we're getting all these players from the G League that are succeeding under his thing because he's like, I want you because I see a talent that works out perfectly. So we're taking, and Rosas is taking it out of Masai's book too with it all.
How far away does your G League team play from where the Timberwolves play?
Oh, they play in Des Moines, Iowa, so it's literally about 2 hours.
2 hours, okay.
Yeah, like
that's another thing about the Raptors documentary. The Raptors G League team plays 40 minutes from the Scotiabank Arena.
That's useful.
And they send their assistant coaches to the G League team to be the head coaches. So
that's what
not only are they just using the G League team, but they're using the same system in their G League team. So they can pick players out and drop them in, and they're ready to go. That's it.
It's exactly what the Timberwolves are doing too, because Ryan Saunders was actually our summer league and a G League consultant kind of for the teams. So all these players on our G League team were kind of already picked from Ryan. So yeah, okay. Well, getting away from that, one of the movies that I think we all agree on is Space Jam. We all said it was in our top three. So
wasn't my favorite, but go ahead.
What? What would you rank that then? Because I feel like that's quite offensive to every single.
I mean, it's a popular movie, but I would say my personal opinion is not for me. For me, it wasn't a.
I think I know what's happened here, Taylor. Let me see if I can take a stab at this.
It's cartoon. First of all, it's cartoon. I'm not into cartoon movies.
Okay. Do you remember? I don't know if you guys watched How I Met Your Mother, but at one point in How I Met Your Mother, Barney is dating this girl that doesn't like Star Wars, and he's freaking out about it.
That's Taylor.
Because he has this theory that if you don't like Star Wars, she had to be older than what she said she was. So my theory is that when Space Jam came out, Penny was just a little bit outside of that range of age where the Bugs Bunny movie was going to fly.
I guess I was when it came out, so that was right up my wheelhouse.
Was that 92, 93, 94, around there?
96. It was
96.
It was during the Jordan retirement. He
came I knew we were going to have to do
the movie.
I was a sophomore. I was a sophomore in high school.
Sophomore in high school? Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't into cartoon movies or any TV shows like that. So
that's why. I knew it. See,
okay,
Space Jam is huge for me.
Slide. I will let it slide this time.
Space Jam is huge for me because it's a whole story in my life. So at the time when my siblings saw their first movie in the theaters, I had 6 other cousins. And all 9 of us were supposed to go with our parents to see Beauty and the Beast. And that was going to be the first movie we all saw in theaters. Well, the day they ended up deciding to go, I had to have an allergy test. So all my brothers and sisters and all my cousins got to see the first movie in the theater, and I didn't get to go.
Oof.
So later on, when I finally did get to see my first movie in the theaters, it was Space Jam.
Oh, no.
So
solid choice.
Space Jam is very nostalgic for me. Also, my mom loved that soundtrack. I have heard that soundtrack thousands of times.
We were talking about this after the other episode last week.
So Space Jam is always one of those things I can just put on and be like, yeah, this is good.
Well, speaking of the music for it, so not the soundtrack, but the music, like the score and everything that was made by a guy named Hans Zimmer. And some of his credentials.
He's one of the best to ever work in Hollywood.
Yep. So he's got Rain Man. He won for The Lion King, Preacher's Wife, The Prince of Egypt, Gladiator, Sherlock Holmes, Inception, the Dark Knight series.
Yeah.
And then he's doing Space Jam 2. He's doing the next one.
Is he? I did not know that.
Yes, he's doing the next one.
How old is he?
Let me check. He is 62.
I was gonna say he's got to be in his 60s.
I was gonna say 70. Oh, he's so young. Okay.
When I saw that, I was just like, okay, wow, we're really putting in some money with this one. LeBron is one of the main producers for it.
I have very mixed feelings about this because I love Hans Zimmer, but like I really, really don't think Space Jam 2 is gonna live up to the first one. I don't think it can.
Oh no, it definitely.
So like to go all the way up there on the person doing the music and knowing I'm gonna be disappointed leaves me with very mixed feelings.
I know it's gonna be bad, but how I'm trying to tell myself is, so LeBron James is kind of like the Michael Jordan of this like young kids era, just because he's winning all the time and stuff. You see him everywhere.
But he's a bad actor.
Hey, if you saw Trainwreck, he was actually really funny. I
really enjoyed him in Trainwreck.
He's got some. We'll have to get back to that in a second. He's got solid comedic chops. I don't know if he can do serious stuff, but he's got good comedic timing.
Yeah, I totally agree with that because I don't like LeBron James as his persona. I don't like him. But I saw Trainwreck and I was like,
I saw it too.
I could get on board with this LeBron.
I love when he starts screaming and clapping his hands with Bill Hader going, my man's gonna have intercourse. And he's just screaming it into the restaurant.
I have to see if that's still on Netflix now.
Oh, it is.
That needs to make my list. I forgot about that movie. That's a basketball movie.
I have something coming up about, I will just go right into it then.
I don't think Amy's good either. She's okay.
She's okay.
Yeah, she's okay. But it's a basketball movie. I had to watch it.
I like.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I saw it too. But it's okay.
But segue into perfect with that. Out of like movies you've seen where NBA players have had their little cameo appearance, may not even being an NBA player. What cameo? It can be them also being an NBA player, but what cameo can you think of an NBA player being in a movie is your favorite, Penny?
Not my favorite movie, but Above the Rim was one of them. What's his name? Ray Allen. Was Ray Allen in that one? We're mixing up the movies. Ray Allen was one of the movies.
Above the Rim.
Was it Ray Allen?
The one that had Ray Allen was He Got Game.
He Got Game. There you go.
Yes.
That one.
Above the Rim had Tupac. So.
Okay, yeah, definitely wrong movie. Definitely wrong movie.
One movie though, I'm surprised that. I mean, I wish I would have mentioned now. Seeing White Men Can't Jump.
Yes.
Wesley Snipes.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. I
did not forget about that, and it still didn't make my list.
It still didn't make your list?
No.
That's a classic. That's a classic movie right there.
One reason why I love that movie is Wesley Snipes' hat. The front brim flipped all the way up. But
Rosie Perez is hilarious.
Yes,
I love that movie. Yeah.
But going back to the Space Jam 2, so some other names in it, actor-wise, Don Cheadle, which he's done his fair share of stuff. They actually have someone playing his son in the movie. They're not even getting Bronny to do it, so which I thought was a little sad. Father-son movie. But
maybe Bronny can't act.
Yeah, true.
Like his father.
So, neither could
maybe
Jordan.
He doesn't want to.
Jordan couldn't act either.
No, Jordan was terrible. Yeah, all the NBA players in Space Jam were terrible.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, Charles Barkley, I liked it when he was praying. I'm sorry to my mom. No, yeah, everyone. I do also like when Muggsy Bogues was like, at least you guys are tall. I'm just
Yeah.
some short
Oh.
person without basketball.
Now I gotta watch it,
It's
man.
so true.
No, right? Like, I
It's so
mean,
true.
but some other NBA players in this new one. So Klay Thompson, Anthony Davis,
Oh.
Dame Lillard, CP3, Kuzma, Jordan's making another appearance again. Kyrie, and then throwing in some WNBA players this time around. So we got Diana Taurasi.
And the Gumakay's sisters.
Yes, I was just about to say you guys are gonna know how to say this last names better than.
Gumakay.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
they're
they are in
Nigerian.
it. And then also I'm seeing some things non-basketball related. So Pennywise the clown from It, he looks like it's going to be making a cameo appearance. The Wicked Witch of the West from Wizard of Oz. Stanley Ipkiss, or the guy from The Mask. And Lord Voldemort will be making supposedly some cameo appearances with it. So I'm
not gonna
curious
watch
just
it.
because of all of these people involved with it. Like, how are they going to make this work?
I'm not excited about all those people. I'm more like, okay, to me that just makes me feel like they know they're not going to be as good as the first one, and they've got to throw in as many names as they can.
Well, yeah, no, there's never good. No, it's not. They know it's not going to be. I know it's not going to be better than the first one. With all these names though, with it, I'm just curious on what they're going to do with it. Like,
That's what
I
I'm
get
like.
the
How are
NBA
they
players
going
and
to
stuff.
get all those characters into the storyline? Like,
That's why I'm really curious. Like, how are
I
you
don't
going to
know.
get Pennywise and Voldemort in the same scene? Like, how is that tied together? Those aren't even cartoons. Like, if it was
we
a cartoon,
have like a plot line for it.
What?
Is there a plot line released for it?
Nothing yet. Nothing
No.
released. I'm looking at the YouTube or the Wikipedia page for it. They had nothing to actually say about it. What
about
all
the
they said,
IMDb page?
it's yeah. You should probably
check
I
that.
should check the IMDb page for it. But it is saying next July 16th, 2021.
Yeah.
If the world hasn't blown up, we will be seeing.
So we
a
have to
big
remember
change.
because we're gonna have to all watch it and do a review episode for it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Sonequa Martin Green's in it too. She's one of my favorite actresses. She is the main character in Star Trek Discovery. She's awesome.
No, I never watched it.
I'm looking. I've never seen her.
Oh, she's great.
Is she newer?
Yeah, Star Trek is kind of her breakout role, and that's on its third season.
Star Trek the TV show. Oh,
TV show, yeah.
Oh, yeah. See,
Star
I'm only
Trek
at
Discovery.
Picard days. Like, I'm Jean-Luc Picard. That's when that's me.
Picard's awesome. The new Picard series. Have you been watching it?
I have not.
Oh my gosh!
I don't even know what is what is that?
So good.
So, Star Trek. There's been a lot of captains for the Enterprise. One of them is by Patrick Stewart or Jean-Luc Picard. He's a lot of memes, and I just also like it because it's Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart's a badass. He's
Stewart
such a good actor.
Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen's relationship gives me hope for the world. It gives me hope for things.
Yeah, get on that, Taylor, because it's done now. It's all aired, so you could binge it all the way through, and it's
that's what I was actually waiting for. I prefer to just binge all my shows. There's very few shows where I'm like, oh, it's a new episode this week, I gotta watch. Usually I'm like, I'll wait till the end of the season and I'll watch all of them at once on a day.
Me, because I'm always knitting when I'm watching TV, I'll watch them and then I'll binge it like 3 months later because I've always missed stuff. I'm not paying attention fully. It's really good. You're gonna like it.
Oh, definite. Okay, so I'll check that out.
And if you like that one, you have to try Discovery. So it's very different time to be a Star Trek fan now because the shows are much more cinematic than what was the last one was the original Enterprise, which was nobody really liked that series.
I don't even like that one. Was
before that was Voyager. Before that was Next Generation, and Space and then the original Star Trek. So all of those shows were a lot of standalone episodes.
I couldn't get my fingers
Welcome,
right.
Luke.
Arthritis.
Arthritis.
But the new series, Discovery and Picard, are like, they're movies.
Oh
Really,
yeah,
really
that's
long
what it
movies.
looked more like. Like,
It's
oh no,
all
we're gonna
very cinematic. The effects are incredible, and the stories are really good.
So I'll definitely have to check that one. Wonder if there could ever be maybe Russell Westbrook could make an appearance in that story.
Oh
Needs some
God, no.
intensity.
Only if he's like a troublemaking alien or something like that.
I mean, he kind of looks like it.
Right?
Oh my God.
Ooh, shots. And now I'm gonna get a message from Russell Westbrook being like, "What did you say about me?" And be like, "I'm just some average Joe. Why do you care?"
Yeah, we're gonna have to add him in one of the promo tweets for this episode. You got Penny. Penny's got
hashtag Russell Westbrook should be on. Hashtag Russell Westbrook should be on Star Trek.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Oh my God.
that blew up.
Wow.
With NBA players being in film, have you guys ever seen the movie Airplane? It was from like the late 70s, early.
No,
I
no.
don't think so.
Oh well, it's one of just like these stupid satire films or whatever. But in the movie, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is an airline pilot, and he just has like he's maybe on for a total of half hour the entire movie. But everyone's getting sick on this plane from bad chicken, and well, there's this little kid that goes to the cockpit, and then there's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar sitting there, and he's just like, "Wow, you're Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You're my favorite player." And he goes, "Nah, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, blah blah blah. I'm a pilot." He goes, "Oh no, yeah, you're my favorite player. My dad says that you kind of slack off on defense, and you rely on others to kind of pick up slack where you don't go." And then he just pulls the kid over, and he goes, "Hey kid, I bust my butt 9 months out of the year running up and down that court. Your dad can't tell me what to do," or something like that. And later on in the movie, when he gets sick and they're taking him out, and periodically in the film they kept on showing him, and he was more and more in Lakers attire. Like first you see just the short shorts, and then you see the goggles, and by the time they're pulling him out of the airplane when he's sick, he's in full Lakers attire and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
So it was one of those moments where I was like, and like he had like a split second. I was like, good comedic chops there, Kareem. That was pretty funny. I liked that a lot. As I'm looking through some more of these movies, worst basketball movie. Jade, can you think of one top of your head?
Like Mike.
Like Mike?
You didn't like Mike?
Oh no.
What about you, Penny? What's one basketball movie that was just abysmal?
Just Right with Queen Latifah. D Wade was on it too.
Oh, I
Comment.
forgot about that
Comment?
movie.
I personally loved the movie because of the romantic side of it, but the basketball side, that was bad. Just Right with Queen Latifah, Comment, D Wade. Who else was in it?
That's a good cast.
It was a good movie.
I'd have to go with Juana Man.
Yeah.
But
That is a horrific movie and pretty offensive.
It was
I don't
actually.
know if I've ever seen it.
Oh, you don't need to see it. It is horrible. It got a 10% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, geez. That is bad.
Yeah, exactly. He was a disgraced NBA player who then dresses himself in drag and plays in the WNBA and dominates. You can think of all the hijinks of a dude.
That is offensive. I'm offended just by the plot line now.
No, yeah, exactly. One of the most iconic scenes is when he's taking a shower and he's just like, "Oh, I can't actually go naked," so he's in his full like jersey and stuff. Horrible. As I'm looking at numbers, so the budget for the film was $15.6 million. It made 13. So they lost money in this movie.
Yeah.
Wow, that budget was high.
It's really high.
Okay.
I mean, because it was okay. It was funny. It had funny parts.
That was. I also just not a big fan of Miguel A. Nunez Jr., the guy that plays Juana.
He just got arrested, didn't he?
He did?
For shoplifting during the quarantine.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Jeez.
As I'm looking up Juana Man, the next thing below Juana Man, it says, is Miguel A. Nunez Jr. black or white?
Hispanic.
That is the first thing that pops up behind Juana Man.
What kind of question is that?
I don't know. I don't get why. That's the second thing that gets pulled up. Well, we'll go away from that. That's dumb. What about no one's mentioned this one, Air Bud. That one's about a dog playing
Air Bud. I don't remember that one.
More wholesome than that.
I don't judge my movies by how wholesome they are. I'm a grown-ass woman.
That movie came out in 97, and you're saying you're...
97, Air Bud. I don't remember it.
Like now. I don't judge my movies by, is there furry animals playing sports? No, animals don't play sports.
You've never seen that dog actually play basketball, because he can actually shoot. That was a real dog. That wasn't CGI. Jane.
I'm aware it was a real dog based on when it came out. Dogs playing basketball doesn't impress me.
Wow, your standards are ridiculous.
Yes, they are.
Have you guys seen the Uncle Drew movie?
No, I haven't.
But I wanted to.
I don't plan to watch it.
I don't know how I feel.
See, I loved those commercials and the YouTube spots. I really wanted to see the movie, but I haven't seen it yet.
The commercials are great, but I don't think the movie was that good.
Did you see it, Taylor?
What?
Did you see it?
I know I did. That was a movie I was on the fence with seeing. I was like, I want to see it because of all the NBA players, but I don't want to see it because I know it's going to be a horrible movie.
See, I feel like, especially since they're talking about possibly canceling the season altogether, we might have to dive into some of these movies we haven't seen and come back and do another movie.
Well, I do see what there is a documentary here that I'm seeing. It's called Dennis Rodman's Big Bang in Pyongyang, and it has to do with him and then also his career, and then also with Kim Jong-un and his best friend relationship with that. So I'm going to have to check that out because that's going to be weird.
Yeah.
I think weird is the only right word for that.
Oh, yeah. It's... yeah. The weird is the only way for it. But, yeah, that is... We definitely will... Yeah, we'll have to come back so we can continue with this one because there's some other ones here that I think I'm interested that I haven't seen before. There's some that I want to look back at again.
And we're going to have nothing else to talk about. So
we got to come up with that original content. So people can still just be listening to us. So from people in the future listening to us in a past episode, what up? Want to be able to people be like, yeah, this is great. I want to listen to this episode again. And these are the hard hits. These are the hard hitters.
Jeez.
Oh. But think we can hit up those fast break questions now. So, first question. Jade, last shot on the game. Who on the Toon Squad is going to be taking your last shot?
Lola Bunny.
Lola?
Yeah.
Penny, what about you?
I don't remember the movie at all.
Okay, think of Looney Tunes characters. Out of your favorite.
I have no idea.
You have no idea. You can't even say
question.
Daffy Duck.
I'll stand that because Lola came in as the only one that could ball. So who else are you going to give it to?
Elmer Fudd. He did a free throw line dunk with his tongue out and a headband on. So,
yeah, but that was only after they had Michael's secret stuff.
Which, that's a whole other investigation right there. He's in the middle of the game.
Lola showed up for tryouts with with handles, and she could shoot already.
Oh man, I have to watch the movie.
So then, next question. So, if you made a movie, it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be a basketball movie. Doesn't have to be. What NBA player would you want to have in your film, Penny?
That's a good question. I'm gonna have to go with D Wade because he's
D-Wade?
made a movie. He's made a movie before, and he
Okay.
wasn't too bad. So D Wade.
What about you, Jade?
I would have to go with OG Anunoby. Because he's a big surprise. So there's a little bit of a background to this.
Okay.
Serge Ibaka has a few different series of web shows. You
I was
probably
gonna say,
know.
doesn't he have one with like him and his scarves?
Okay, so this is where it came from. So it's Serge's show. It's called a Vet Class. It's about his style. He films it at a Holt Renfrew store in Toronto at the Eaton Center. And so he's had Fred on, Fred VanVleet. OG was the second episode, and he's had Marc Gasol on. And they play a few games. They're allowed to pick some clothes and like put together an outfit. And OG is very quiet as far as even his post-game interviews, and how he's not a big talker. So he did that episode with Serge, and he was so funny. He trolled Serge the entire episode. And as Toronto fans, we're like, who knew OG was this hilarious? So because of that, he would be the person, because he's so funny.
Okay. I would have to do DeAndre Jordan. He's got himself a good funny bone. And I would wanna I'd put him in there. I'd throw him in there. Okay. And the last question. Which basketball movie would you want to have an appearance in, Jade?
Oh, it's easy.
Ooh. That's difficult for me because my favorite basketball movies, unfortunately, do not feature women playing basketball. And if I was going to be in a basketball movie, I would want to be playing.
Well, I mean, like I said, there's those Disney ones like Double Teamed, where it's those twins.
Love and Basketball. It's about a woman
basketball.
play with.
I think I'd have to go with Love and Basketball, but really my answer would be I would have to write my own.
Oh.
Well, I mean, you could be an Uncle Drew too, because there's Lisa Leslie in it.
Yep.
That's true.
Legend.
But I haven't seen it yet, so I can't put my stamp on and say I want to be in it if I haven't seen it.
True. Penny, what movie would you want to be in?
Love and Basketball and Coach Carter.
Coach Carter, one of those two?
Yeah, two of my favorite basketball movies.
Okay. I got a tie between a couple. I got Semi-Pro, White Men Can't Jump, and then Teen Wolf. Because who doesn't like the idea of some average teenager who turns into a werewolf and becomes
I love that
basketball stud? Like, that is pure gold. That is a genius idea. That is prime time Michael J. Fox. That's God. Marty McFly turned into.
I forgot about that movie too.
Me too, but that's a good movie.
Yeah,
a classic.
Exactly. The guy was dancing and did a flip on a moving car as a werewolf.
See, that reminds me of one of my favorite How I Met Your Mother episodes, because there's an episode where Marshall starts coaching Lily's basketball team at her school, and they did a Teen Wolf reference in that episode.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that'd be a fun one to go to. Okay, well, got those questions out of the way. We're always going to be watching out for those new movies. Like I said, we'll probably come back to this topic, since right now we gotta fill some spots while our beloved NBA is going through its issues, as we all are right now. We're all going through this together, staying strong. Mm-hmm. Well, on that note, it's been a great one this week, guys, talking about movies. That's always fun. And then for all you listeners out there, don't forget, subscribe our Twitter, We are setting up an Instagram account. We're going to get on that one. And then we'll also have a Facebook one account coming up real quick with that too. Be on the lookout for that through our Twitter page. And then follow Belly Up and the other podcasts and all the other articles going on right there. We're doing some big things here. So keep involved with all of us here because you're going to be getting some great updates and everything that's going on in sports and basketball. Okay. You guys have a great week, listeners. Peace.